Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reselling Rhythms. And I just did a rookie mistake. Let me close that. Okay, I think we're good now. I was wondering why my video wasn't stopping because there was a 3-second delay. Anyway, guys, welcome to another episode of Reselling Rhythms. In today's live stream video, I'll be going to discuss with my guest her reselling business and how to source free goods to resell. She'll share her tips and strategies to help make us more successful and profitable resellers. Every Wednesday, I have a live stream, and I usually interview another reseller and have them share their tips, tricks, and techniques to make us more knowledgeable and profitable resellers. If you're interested in reselling, then you are in the right place. Let me just pop in the chat. And like I said, I tried my new countdown timer, and I messed it up. But that was my rookie mistake. So anyway, guys, welcome. Say hello to a few people in the chat. I see Randy is here, and Sharon is here, my moderators. I know Mike Flipping Goodies is in the house, Wendy. Of course, our guest is in the house, and a few other people are here. Lisa C., thank you so much for being here. Pika Resellers, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Anyway, guys, we're going to get right into it. Like I said, I don't like to keep the people that are watching the replay waiting. My guest today, is Deena, the Thrifty Junker. Let's bring on Deena and have her introduce herself. Okie dokie, you are live, my friend.
Hello.
Hello. Why don't you introduce yourself to the people that don't know you in the chat?
Okay, so I am Deena. I go by Thrifty Junker. I have been on YouTube for about, 4 months now. I started February 2nd, so that's exactly 4 months. I am a reseller. I have been reselling things all of my life. But I just realized last fall that I love it and I should have been doing it my whole life. But originally I am a nurse of 27 years. And when COVID happened, my job went to the wayside because I don't work in a typical nursing realm. I actually do health screenings for corporations. So once a lot of the corporations shut down, I lost my job. So as a contractor, I actually was able to get some unemployment, but being at home and being bored, I started purging my home and started reselling stuff. And I caught the bug again. And I've been doing it now since last August. I'm married. I have a 2.5-year-old French bulldog. Her name is Princess Shuri, and we just got her a week ago. So we are we're being parents again for a while. We had 2 dogs and we lost them, and so now we're chasing a little French bulldog around. So when we're not doing anything else.
You have a new puppy in your house. So 2.5 years, I guess that's considered what, an adolescent?
Well, she's like a puppy because she was from a breeder and she had always lived in a kennel. So she was not potty trained and she really didn't have much freedom. So now she does. And so, yeah, she's like a puppy.
Oh, she has to go through that whole, okay.
Yeah.
I hear you.
He's chewing on stuff and she's, So.
Well, I share some personal stuff and I tell people I have pretty bad allergies, but eventually I want to get out of New Jersey because the property taxes are killing me here. I moved down to Delaware and I'm a big fan of golden retrievers. I know they shed and I know it's bad for my allergies, but I love golden retrievers and I want to get an adolescent. I can't deal with the puppy's energy. And I don't want to. I mean, I'll train them to walk properly and everything, but I want to potty train them and all that good stuff.
Yeah, she's doing very well though. We have been blessed. Yeah, so
great.
Yeah.
You're blessed.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get into it, guys. Like I said, this is the show. We're gonna talk about Deena's reselling business, but I really want to concentrate a little on her finding free goods to resell. I think there's opportunities out there, and probably a lot of us are passing them up. So you kind of sort of touched on it a bit, but how did you get into reselling? Did you have anyone in your family that introduced you to reselling? How did you really get the reselling bug? I know necessity created it, but how did you get into it?
So like I said, I've kind of been doing it all my life. When I was younger, we would spend a week in the summer with my grandmother and we would go, she called it junkin'.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
we would go to thrift stores and we would go to yard sales. And that's where my name kind of comes from, Thrifty Junker, because of my grandmother and the love for thrifting that she instilled in me. And so I've basically been thrifting my whole life, but I kind of dabbled in selling stuff many years ago on eBay, and just got away from it because life happened. I got busy. And then when the pandemic happened and my job was, no more for a little while, I'm like, okay, I need to take this time and make it fruitful. And so I just started purging and selling stuff. I actually I joined a challenge of a influencer that I had been following for years, and her son was talking about Macari and all these apps that you could sell on.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh yeah, I could do this, And so I started on Macari at first, because I knew eBay was a little bit more technical, but I wanted to jump into it kind of slowly, go to an app that's a little bit easier, learn the shipping again, learn all the ins and outs of reselling. And so that's what I started on Macari. And then when Facebook Marketplace started doing their shipping program, I was one of the first people that was able to ship through Facebook Marketplace. And so in the fall, right before the holidays, I was selling on Macari and Facebook Marketplace quite a bit. And then in January, I started back on eBay because I thought, well, I've got it down now. I kind of know we've gotten past the Christmas season. I can focus a little bit more on the technical stuff of eBay. And so that's how I kind of got back into it. So.
Okay, well that makes sense. I ask this question every show because
Mhm.
I'm curious. I think my viewers are curious how people get involved in reselling, and a lot of times it's out of necessity. And thank God we have it as an additional source of income. I tell people how I got into it because I got hurt working retail, and I had no income coming in. I had nothing coming in. They wouldn't pay me workman's comp. I wasn't able to get disability immediately, so it took me a long time. I had no money coming in. So my mother wasn't a thrifter, but she was a bargain hunter back in the day. She was basically a single parent. My father was ill growing up. He had Parkinson's disease, and then he had leukemia. And he passed away when I was a senior in college. So my mother was basically a single parent taking care of my father. And so she was always looking for deals, and she used to go to Target, call it Target, and Marshalls and Marshalls, make it sound French like it was ritzy, but she'd always teach me to shop for clearance. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can sell some of the stuff that I have. And maybe I can, I started watching all these, these OG, reselling channels, and learned about retail arbitrage. I could buy stuff at clearance here and flip it on eBay or whatever. Originally, I wanted to get involved in Amazon, but it's like, it just overwhelmed me. And I said, this is not the place. I think you did it the right way by getting involved in Macari. Although I hear mixed reviews about Macari, but eBay, Bonanza, Macari are good places to start.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Okay. So your platforms right now are what? Macari, Poshmark, and eBay?
Mostly eBay now. I do still have stuff on Macari, a little bit on Poshmark. I haven't really jumped into Poshmark just because it is such a social with the sharing and all that, and I don't have time for all that. And then I still have stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I need to get back into cross posting, cross listing a lot more. It's just like when you have limited time, it's like sometimes you can only get it on one platform, and so that's usually eBay.
So you manually cross post everything?
I try to cross post things. Some things do better than others. Like I sell a lot of Pampered Chef, and a lot of times it will sell better on Macari for more than it would, or Facebook Marketplace, than it would on eBay. Because eBay can be kind of saturated with it at times. And so I found that I sell it a lot better on a couple of the other platforms. So,
that's why I have other resellers on the channel that know things that I don't know. I'm going to plead my ignorance. I've heard of Pampered Chef. I don't know what it is. Is it cookware? What is Pampered Chef?
Pampered Chef is it's a home party business, kind of like Tupperware, but they mainly do kitchen gadgets. They do have like dishware, cookware. They do have some like sauces and spices and
Okay.
different things. Yeah. And so I used to sell it years ago, so I can spot it,
So you're
you know,
familiar with
at a
these
thrift
spot right away.
store. Yeah, I can spot it, you know, at a thrift store really easily. So so that's why I know it's worth more. And so I had stuff sitting around the house, and I started selling it on Macari, and I'm like, and then I would go to the thrift store and I'm like, I could flip that. I'm like, yeah. So that's what I started doing. And then I started watching YouTube videos. Reason why I did that was because I wanted to make sure that I was shipping things correctly,
Right.
and as cheap as possible. And so I just Googled it or looked it up on YouTube, and Lindy Glenn came up with her shipping videos. And so then I just started watching her, and then I just went from there. It would feed to another person, to another person. I was watching Harry Tornado. I started watching, a friend told me about Cincinnati Picker. And so I just got obsessed with watching all of them. And I'm like, I can do this. This is something that I love to do. So
Well, I used to watch most of them.
mhm.
One of the reasons I'm stuck with so many women's jeans because of Lindy
Yeah,
Glenn and Prof Sales. Because when I
yeah,
first got involved, I was
right.
like, I'll go to Goodwill $1 a day and I'll buy all these jeans. It's like,
Mhm.
well, when I was listing every day, they were selling regularly, but I still would
Yeah.
buy brands and styles that weren't really selling. And you know, I mentioned almost every show, guys. I apologize. It's just me. I don't have the proper styles now. I mean, I have the boot cut and I have the straight leg.
But there's
I
people who look for a specific style, and it could be an older style.
That's what
And
I have.
so, yeah, I
That's
mean,
what I
you just
have.
never know.
So yeah,
Adam eventually will come back into style.
I just have to get in the habit of listing
Yeah.
every day because,
Yeah.
um, you know, most people in the chat I know are experienced resellers. For the
Yeah.
newer people, if you don't list pretty much
Hmm.
every day on eBay, and I don't know what the
Yeah.
magic number is. Some people say it's 5, some people say it's
Yeah.
10. The search engine algorithm is called Cassini. It will
Hmm.
penalize you and penalize
Hmm.
you and penalize you. I
Yeah.
mean, I ran a sale this weekend. Had promoted listings, and my sales were very, very slow because I'm not listing every day. Even though I was promoting my
Yeah.
listings and I reduced the price and running a sale, which you're supposed to do
Hmm.
on a holiday weekend, I was very, very slow because
Yeah.
the eBay algorithm didn't promote my items, even though I was paying for promotion because I'm in a saturated market, you know, used clothing. And I didn't
Yeah.
have those, you know, collectible type things. I have some RA in my shop that I think is very reasonable and very, you know, very well priced and good quality stuff. But because I'm not listing on a regular basis, you know, eBay
Yeah.
penalizes you. Any platform is the same way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They want to see you're active, and so that's
And I mean,
why.
I've gone in and I've tried, you know, ending listings, and then I
Mhm.
learned from Beth Reseller Rowboat that, you know, Casey the Rockstar Flipper would always say you have to, when you end a listing, you should sell similar because it gives you a new item ID. Well,
Ah.
apparently recently, or maybe that was a myth. If you end a listing and then just relist, it does give you a new item ID, and
Oh,
it's easy.
okay.
You don't have all the problems with extra items in your draft file. It basically makes it much easier to do just
Oh, wow.
to end the
Hmm.
listing and relist as opposed to sell similar.
Yeah.
Because I always did sell similar because I thought, you know, it would give me a new item ID, which it does. But when you
Hmm.
relist, it also gives you a new item ID. So
Okay.
that's
Gotcha.
something for you guys that aren't doing that. Again, that's supposedly a workaround around the eBay algorithm. I don't know if it works. Maybe if you're listing a lot of things and you sprinkle in some of those items, it'll help. But you have to put up new listings.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a Poshmark store, but you don't do much with Poshmark. So what
Yeah.
you said Macquarie is good for the Pampered Chef. What else is Macquarie good for? Because I don't have a lot of sellers that sell Macquarie. What other items sell well
I'm trying
Macquarie?
to think of everything that I've sold on Macari. Sold some Longaberger on Macari, Longaberger pottery. Um, gosh, I've sold a little bit of books. I've sold a lot of books on
Oh,
Macari.
Macquarie. Okay.
Hmm. Um, I'm trying to think what else I have on Macari. I've sold a little bit of everything because that's where I
Okay.
basically started. So I
Right,
had
right,
a
right.
little bit of everything on there. And so, yeah, for the holidays, you know, it was Christmas stuff.
Chris
You
sells
know,
year round.
yeah. So a little bit of everything. But I found when I comp things, now I usually comp between eBay and Macari and see what it's selling, see which one's better. And so I will list it on the one that's better first. So,
Right. So you see which site is selling for a higher price.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if it's too saturated, you know, then I'm not going to put it there because nobody's going to see it. So.
Right. Okay. And you said you sell predominantly now on eBay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I get a Macari sale every now and then, but I try to go over there and promote if I can, if I think of it. But yeah.
How do you promote on Macari?
You can send people offers that are
Okay.
your likers. And then you can also drop the price if you want to. And then it will bring it back up in the feed at a higher, like it'll bring it back up to the top of the search.
So it'll move it up in the search rankings if you drop the price.
Yeah. More
Okay.
people.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Like I said, you sell predominantly on eBay. Basically, just ask you about your business practice on eBay. You know, the basic things. Do you run sales? Accept best offers? You run promotions? Do you offer free shipping or not? And what's your thoughts on free shipping?
I just ran a sale for Memorial Day, so certain things that had been sitting there for a while, I'd run a sale on those, and then I do send offers to people who to my watchers, and then I do promote usually around 1%, and you know that sometimes helps. So yeah.
Now, your thoughts on running a sale? I mean, how do you do the old mark up and mark down, or do you like have your prices a little bit higher with a cushion and just mark down?
So I asked somebody about that. I'm like, how much do you mark it up before you mark it down? And they're like, I don't mark it up before I mark it down. I just mark it down. I've done it both ways. I don't know if there's one way that's right, you know, but that's one thing I don't like on Macari is you can, when you offer an offer, it has to be like 10% off. And so it has to be a certain percentage off. Whereas eBay, you can kind of pick and choose how much you want to take off. Okay. Macari, you like every time you drop, like if you send an offer to 4 people, the next time you send an offer, even if there's new watchers, you have to drop it another 10% or whatever, or something crazy, 5% or 10%. And so you get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm not making any money on this.
Why bother, right?
Dropping it. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, And everybody's like, well, you got to relist it. You got to relist it. Well, I don't have time to go back and relist everything.
Yeah, that does.
All the
I
time,
guess that's kind of a negative. I mean, every site has their issues. I mean,
yeah.
I call eBay Glitch Bay. I mean, you know, everybody in. I'll tell you, eBay has more glitches than are imaginable. I mean, it's amazing.
Now, especially with this stupid
item specifics.
Yes. It's like,
and people are losing their listings, or losing.
I know.
Things are just disappearing, and things are popping up that were sold 3 years ago. It's like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah. I mean, I had to change all of my shoes, their size. I'm like, it's the same size.
One of the categories got hit. Yep.
I was like, what happened?
Absolutely. Yeah. Craziness.
I'm like, you're going to mess around and make people mad. And they're going to go to Facebook and start selling on Facebook, and they're going to drop eBay. It's like.
Well, when I was in Johnny's chat earlier, and he had Chuck on this morning, and you know, Chuck was talking about Facebook Marketplace and something else he was talking about. But anyway, I said, Chuck, check out my channel. I have videos on that. Sharon did a video on Facebook Marketplace, and Beth Reseller Rowboat, selling small appliances. It's like selling small appliances. Beth Reseller Rowboat is extremely knowledgeable with selling appliance parts. She breaks things down, and she gets stuff in the bins, and she'll just pick parts. You know, she won't take the whole appliance sometimes. She'll just take parts, which you can do with the bins. Which, hey, whatever works, you know. But anyway, so I try to like mix it up on my channel. I have different things, and you know, and opportunities. We all have different opportunities. We all have different sourcing opportunities. Yeah. So I mean, that's something I'd like to bring up. So now I guess you source your typical what everybody else pretty much sources. I mean, you're in similar the Louisville area basically. So
I'm about 30 minutes outside of Louisville. I do source in Louisville, but not as much because I have probably 7 Goodwills within 30 minutes of me.
Really, you have more than I do, and
that's in Southern Indiana. And then if I go over to Louisville, I have another 10 to 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And there's a lot of.
I'm in a pretty densely populated area. I'm basically a suburb of. I'm in New Jersey, but I'm basically a suburb of Philadelphia, and it's like I might have like 4 or 5 Goodwills within a 35, 40-minute ride.
Oh, it's crazy. And
You know,
then
7 that close, and then if you go to Louisville, as they said, is what, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to Louisville?
yeah.
You have like another 10.
So, and
Wow.
then I have other smaller mom and pop or church
Charity, church,
missionary.
thrift, right?
Yeah, missionary thrift stores. I have a little honey hole that I like. It's a little church
Gotcha.
mission store, and their stuff's usually pretty decent, and I can find some good stuff in there every now and then because it's older people, and they're just giving away their vintage stuff. So
you may have like 20-ish thrift stores within a 40-minute drive of your home.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's tremendous. Well, again, like I said, guys, I mean, that's why I had to bring on different resellers. And again, take what you can use. If you can use it, great. If you can't, you can't. But everyone has different opportunities. That's why I like to bring on different resellers with different ideas and be able to say, oh, I do this, I'll do that. A couple things we're going to bring up later from Deena, that some things that I wasn't aware of, and I was aware of, but I realized they were so valuable. She's going to share with us. So we're going to get into that a little bit with the free goods as well. Yep. So, okay, let me just touch a couple things. We talked about where you're sourcing.
Of course, now I'm sourcing at garage sales right now because it's garage sale season.
Yeah, it's finally opening up around here. It's going to be in the high 80s and 90s next week. And we had rain all Memorial Day weekend except for Monday. So obviously
one
Memorial
thing
Day
I don't do often enough is go to flea markets. I have a vendor booth, and I could probably shop in my vendor flea market and find stuff if I wanted to spend the time in there. There's actually 2 vendors. I'm at a vendor's village, and then across the street is a whole nother vendor mall. And I could probably source in there if I really wanted to look through it. But I figure most vendors probably know what they have. And so that's why I don't spend the time to do that. So.
Well, I'm glad you brought up your booth, because that was something I skipped right by. I told you sometimes I get distracted. I start talking about I go off on a tangent. Why don't you touch a little bit on your vendor booth, where it's where it's located, what you sell there?
Yeah, so I started watching Kayla, the homeschooling picker, and she talked about how she had 3 vendors booths, and she did really well in them. And so I visited the vendors village near me. And I just kind of looked around and seen what kind of stuff people had in there. And then I actually stopped and talked to another vendor who was setting up and replacing stuff in her booth and just kind of redoing some stuff. And I talked to her and asked her, about the vendors village and how they compared to other places she had been. And she had been in many other places, and she told me that was probably the cheapest area. And so I was like, okay. And so I'm like, I had so much inventory, and I'm like, there's bigger things that I don't want to ship. Or there's things that I've gotten that may not sell, for some reason online very easily. So I just put a little bit of everything in my booth. I have a lot of puzzles go well in my booth, especially during the winter time. People were buying puzzles like crazy. Home decor, kitchenware. I have some shoes in there. I sell a little bit of everything. So, yeah.
Well, that was my next question. And I know you sell, basically you're a one-off seller.
Yeah.
I want to get a little bit into your bolos, and you say you pretty much sell everything. I know you're kind of on a toy kick lately.
Yeah.
I guess that's just what you're finding.
Well, yeah, that's what's at the yard sales. That's what I'm finding. Yeah.
Trying to find a lot I find a lot of children's
Toys
stuff.
And
I haven't been a child in a very long time. I don't have children. So
I know.
I don't know what's popular,
I know. Well, I feel like I'm living my second childhood. I feel like I'm playing with the toys that I would have wanted when I was younger that I never had. So I'm like,
it's like with video games. I mean, I'm so old. I had the original Atari. The
exactly.
So I don't know.
Well, I had the Pong, which was the original Pong. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, the little wheels.
Yeah. Well, I had the original Atari console with the Missile Command and the Space Invaders. I think it had Pong on there too. I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I had just the Pong thing.
The Pong
that was like old. Yeah. So.
Yes, I mean, and people say, "Oh, video games." Like, I know nothing. I mean, I know there's websites and things where you can, get prices and stuff. But when I'm looking, I'm going to have to scan every. I guess I could scan every individual item.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, I do learn a lot from. I learn a lot from other resellers. What they pick up.
That's why I do the show, and that's why I watch the other reselling shows.
Yeah, exactly.
And I
I mean,
always say
that's her
any day I
best
learn
horse.
something new is a good day.
Yep. 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 So
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about your bolos, and you were talking about your Monster High dolls just recently.
yeah.
So why
So
don't you get into that a little bit and tell us a little bit about Monster High
so
dolls?
I again watching Kayla, she was talking about how much these Monster High dolls are worth so much. And the last yard sale I went to, I just put out that video today. I got 16 of these dolls. And they all have they have all of them are they have monster names. They're strange. But they are worth a lot because they're collected all over the world and they are no longer made. This one's got kind of crazy hair. But these four right here, they originally came out together. They were, it was a night out, like a girls' night out with these four. And if you sell them new, the last one sold for $100 for all four of these, in new in the box. Now these probably won't sell, for that much, but, they will probably still bring a pretty good return. But they all have accessories. They all have funky shoes, funky clothes. Yeah, they're just a very interesting doll.
You said you would sell them as a set, or would you sell them individually?
I will probably sell those as a set because they originally came as a set.
Okay.
And so I will probably try to sell those as a set. Now, if you look on eBay under Monster High lots, if you have like a big lot of them, they go for thousands. It's insane. People take these dolls and they, Wendy just got a bunch of Monster High dolls, and she's already sold a bunch of them. But the Monster High people are very, very, they want to know specifics about these dolls. A lot of the times,
very detail oriented. They want all the little
very detail oriented. Wendy just had a return because the doll was 11 inches and not 10 and a half.
Oh my God.
Very weird.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Well, she didn't manufacture it.
I know, it's crazy. So she's like, make sure you measure all those dolls. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, just letting all the other sellers know, hey, this, make sure, because I had sold a lot on Macari. I think I sold 5 for like, I can't remember what I sold it for, 30, 40 bucks. I can't remember. But the lady, when she got it, she was very nice. She's like, I wish you would have told me that one of the necks was loose. And I'm like, huh? What do you mean? Yeah. So if their neck, like this one's pretty tight, but if their neck, there's something in their neck that can be loose and it makes their head flop. Which she said that she rehabs them anyway. She fixes them up and she resells them. And so, my nephew is calling me. Oh, he knows better. Anyway. So anyway, she, was very kind and told me, yes, definitely. They want to know if their joints are loose. Because, their joints, like their arms and stuff, come off so you can dress them. So you
the
can dress.
I thought it was broken. Yeah. I would know it was.
No, so you can dress them. Their arms will come off because otherwise you can't get their big hand that's spread out.
Oh, okay.
Into their clothing, and so
you can't dress them. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, they want to know all those.
That's why you watch AdamsExploits in this show, because you learn a lot of neat stuff. Yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea their arms came off. I didn't know idea they were different sizes and that their necks creaked and were loose. And
it's crazy. Yeah. So if you
now I know when I'm looking for them, I'll be, I was going to watch your videos.
Like this one here, like I have all her accessories. She had like glasses and she has a purse, and I just happened to find her through Google Lens. That's how I identify all these.
We're going to get in that in a minute. Yep.
Yeah, I have no idea who these are. So I Google Lens them, and that's when they come up, and then I can see what accessories they have. She's got a little phone that looks like a coffin. And if it looks like a coffin,
okay.
Yeah, and if it's down in her purse. Yeah, I have a coffin bed for them. I mean, Yeah, they're just kind of a freaky doll. So yeah.
Sharon said, like a bobblehead, you have to check it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They're
That's a
very
good idea.
particular. Yeah. So
A lot of times you got to make word associations to remember things. There's all this stuff running around in his head. So it's like, that's a good tip, Sharon. I'll have to remember that. It's like a bobblehead. You have to check it.
Hi, Mr. Murphy. Thanks for showing
Patrick,
up.
the voice Murphy. How are you, sir? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were going to get into Google Lens. So let's do Google Lens, and we'll pop back in the stuff.
Okay.
Google Lens
so I'll show another thing, and I'll show what I Google, how I Google Lens
absolutely.
it. My last video, I also got this Star Wars. I knew it was a TIE fighter. I just didn't know what kind of TIE fighter it was, because my husband was like, it's a special TIE fighter. I don't know. I don't remember what it is. You see, I paid $3 for this. I still have the tag on it.
Right.
I got the little
This was
guy.
at a yard sale.
Yeah, I got this at the yard sale.
It even had a character, a pilot.
Got the pilot in there. Okay, so I Google Lens this, and it is a TIE interceptor. And so then I can go to eBay and I can type in TIE interceptor. Sometimes if it's a long title, I can copy it and then paste it right into eBay. And then I comped this. This actually, last time it sold for $54.95.
Oh,
yeah.
And it looks like it's in very good condition.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. I don't know if you can demonstrate or if you have your phone handy. How do you access Google Lens?
Okay. Let me see here.
I always hear other resellers talk about that, and I try to research. Like, I don't know how to do this.
Okay. So you go to your Google app. You just open your Google app. Now I know
you just open the Google search engine on your phone.
So your Google, your Google, Google app there.
Yep.
Whoops.
Right.
And then I know it's different on iPhone. This is an iPhone.
Okay.
I know it's different, but you see, it's hard to see. See this little camera here?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You just click on that little camera. It's going to bring up the little square. And
let's take a picture of one of your Monster High dolls.
Okay.
Or that's fine. Whatever you have handy.
I don't know if it'll do him.
Okay.
Okay. So then you just take a picture. Let's see. Get me in here. What it will do when you get to a certain area, a little blue dot will come up saying it recognized something.
Okay. So if you don't get the blue dot, it doesn't recognize it.
Sometimes it will. And then it just brings up.
Cool.
Your dolls.
Like it.
And then
you can just click on the individual pictures and it'll tell you. Right?
Mm-hmm. So it brings those pictures off a certain websites. So one's off of eBay, one's off of WordPress, one's off of Flickr, WorthPoint, which is of course people go to WorthPoint to see what things are worth. And so, but it's got her name. Her name is Monster High Ghoulia, and it says Ghouls Night Out. So it's like instead of girls night out, it's Ghouls Night Out. And it's from 2013. So you can get a lot of information from Google Lens. So hello, Kevin.
Chosen good reseller and Sharon both say with your Samsung, on your Android phones, you can do it right from your images on your photos.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I use that for all the new toys because like you said, I don't know all the new toys. I know the toys that I grew up with. And sometimes I forget what those are. Right. But yeah, like I have all these toys back here, which are Marvel and Star Wars. That's kind of the stuff that I grew up with. And so if it's anything new, I have to Google Lens it. So
yeah, again, guys, we all don't know everything.
Yeah. No.
That's why I love having other resellers. And I kept hearing resellers talking about this, and usually, we talk about Google being the #1 search engine and YouTube the #2 search engine. So I'll Google something or I'll use YouTube to learn something. But I kept hearing how resellers are using this. I couldn't figure out how to use it.
And I'll use it in the Goodwill or
absolutely.
I'll
use the eBay app, and eBay they just did an update to their app. I don't know what kind of updates they made. Supposedly they were fixing bugs. Yeah. But I'll scan things, and then it's funny. computers and cell phones and smartphones are only as good as the the quality of the and what they're using. And I've
For
brought
the
this up in
user.
the past. There's all kind of full moons going on and lunar eclipses, and there's electronics are going wacky. But I was at Sam's the other day, and they have there's always these long lines, and I'm an app person. I mean I said I'll use my app and I'll check out on my own. So I'm skinning my rotisserie chickens that I buy all the time. It's like, it's not skin. It's not skin. I said, son of a gun, this store app's down. So I have to get in line. And the guy goes, he's skinning. It's like, yeah. I said, I couldn't get to work either. I think your app's down. He goes, no. He goes, it's missing one of the bars in the UPC code. Well, he knew that. I didn't know that. I just assumed the app was down. So something got screwed up where they printed out the UPC code and it got screwed up. So he had to manually put that in there. But I didn't know. I would have blamed the Sam's app or Google Lens or something. I said, the stupid thing's not working. But if you don't know, you don't know.
Right. Exactly.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So.
A couple other things before we get into the free goods. What is your best flip? And again, I guess you can consider like the selling price as opposed to percent markup. Maybe you made $100 on white on, and something else you paid $1 and you sold it for $50. Okay.
So I bought a on Marketplace. It was a band hero set. So it was the drums. It was 3 guitars. It was, I believe, 4 or 5 games, the band hero games, different types of the games. I went to pick it up. It had the microphone, it had the pedal, it had everything. And so it was a couple that was getting rid of it, an older couple, and they're like, this was my son's. He doesn't play it anymore. He doesn't even live here anymore. I'm just getting rid of it. I paid $25 for it. And as I was leaving, she's like, hey, she's like, I've got these gaming chairs. I'm just going to throw them out. Would you want them? And I'm like, yeah, I'll take them. And so I got these gaming chairs basically for free, sold the gaming chairs in my booth for $15 a piece. So I got $30 on that. So that basically paid for everything. I sold the drums, 1 guitar, 2 of the games, the microphone. I sold that for, what was it? $179, I think it was that. And then I sold the other 2 drums and the other 2 not the drums, the other 2 guitars and 2 games, for I think $70. So I probably made like
$250 profit.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say? $30, $35?
25 is what I spent.
$25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah. And then my other big one, Chandra, if you're still here, close your ears. She hates the story.
Chandra's in the chat. So I appreciate her being here.
So I was on Facebook Marketplace one night shopping, and I seen this Wizard of Oz Polly Pocket still in the box. And I'd heard about
Polly. Tell me what a Polly Pocket is. I have no
Polly
idea.
Pockets are a toy that was they're like teeny bitty little dolls. They're teeny tiny. And so it was a Wizard of Oz one, and I knew Wizard of Oz was going to be big. I knew Polly Pockets were big. And so I looked it up on eBay, and the last one sold for $250. Actually, a couple of them sold for $250. And I was like, oh. So the lady wanted $30. And so I messaged her. I said, hey, is this still available? She's like, actually, it's pending. And I was like, well, I'll give you 40 and I will come and get it. I did. I said, I will give you 40 and I will come and get it as soon as you want me to. And she waited for a little bit and she got back to me. She goes, can you come tomorrow morning? And I said, yes, I can. And I said, do you want me to pay you right now? Because I will. And she's like, no, just bring the cash tomorrow. So I went there. And I had issues where I had been on the way to somewhere and somebody sold it out from underneath me.
Really?
So I was like, until I get this in my hands, I'm not gonna breathe. So I went there. I picked it up. The husband actually came out. He was like, this was my parents. This was my mom. She was a doll collector. And he's like, you know, she's got all these dolls, and now like they're not, like, people don't want to buy them for anything. And he said she has Princess Diana dolls that are like worth hundreds of dollars, but nobody will pay for them.
Wow.
And I was like, well, you obviously didn't look this one up. And so I gave him the $40, and
Did you look at the Princess Diana dolls, or you didn't bother? You didn't look at the Princess Diana dolls?
I did not, because I didn't know much about them, and I was like, oh. I think I actually might have looked that up. Because, or no, I looked at the ad because he said she's got a bunch of other listed. Did you see any other ones listed that you would want to look at? And I said no, because I didn't know much about it, all the other ones.
Right.
And I wanted to get the heck out of there as fast as I could because I wanted that Polly Pocket. But it was still in the box. Still, I mean, the box looked great. It wasn't crushed or anything. And so I flipped it. I sold it for $200. So.
Well, Mike Flipping Goodies, that's in the chat, and Mike has a great channel too, guys. If you're not subscribed to Flipping Goodies, he talks about taking chances on things, and I always tell you guys too. It depends on your financial situation. If you're new to reselling, obviously you don't want to take a chance. But if you have a decent amount of money or whatever, you're making money on reselling, you have the opportunity. Mike takes a chance sometimes, but he has the opportunity. He also has the wherewithal to do it. And I tell new resellers, you might want to take that chance. But Mike will say, and he'll even say in his videos, I take a chance. I don't necessarily recommend that.
Yeah.
But he's done very well. I mean, he bought like saxophones and all kind of weird musical instruments, and they were like from the 1940s. And he just took a shot, and he did very well with it. But again, depends on your means. If you don't have the extra money, don't. And again, I tell people, don't use credit cards to finance your reselling business either. That's another
Exactly. I want to say hi to Carissa. She said I was a rock star. You are a rock star, girl.
Carissa, what's Carissa's screen name?
Carissa is Chosen Goods.
Okay, it's the loader. I didn't know her name was Carissa. Yeah. Okay, thanks for being here, Carissa. Okay, so let me just double check, make sure I didn't miss anything. And I want to get into the free goods part. What's the best flip? How do you fit it? Yeah, okay. Let's you talk about Google. Let's talk about pricing. Okay, great. Let's get in. We talked about your vendor booth. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Let's get into how do you find free goods.
I wanted to show these two first because I did not know about these, and some other people may not know about these either. So the yard sale that I just did a video on, the yard sale had all kinds of stuff. Like it had Monster High stuff, it had Star Wars stuff, it had Minecraft stuff, Skylander. So like all these top big huge things that it had. And so I was talking to the guy. He had on Star Wars stuff, and I was talking to him about Star Wars, and he said, oh, you like Star Wars? And I said, yeah. And he's like, well, let me show you this over here. Did you see this? And I said, well, it kind of looked, but I didn't really know what it was. And he's like, well, it's all these little figurines or little Star Wars figurines. And I'm like, okay. And the year on it is 2004. And so there's all these little Star Wars figurines. So there's Leia, there's Chewbacca, there's here's Han Solo, or that's Han Solo, there's Luke, and then Orlando. Orlando, not Orlando, Lando. But each one of them on the bottom has the date, it has what it is, and they all come with cards. So it is a Wizards of the Coast Star Wars. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, where they use all these little figurines to do their gameplay. And so each of them have cards. These four right here, except for Luke Skywalker's a little bit different in the comp that I comped. These four with their cards sold for $40.
Okay, now is it very important to have the cards, or do people buy the individual?
Yeah. It's important to have the cards with them because that's how they play. That's if they're going to use this character, they play their card.
Gotcha.
I guess that's how they do it.
If you see the figurine, you probably wouldn't pick it up unless it came with the card.
Exactly.
And I guess like anything else, condition is key. Quality of it.
So there was 158 Star Wars characters that I got.
Wow. Then 158.
Yeah, 158. And then I didn't know it, but there was a whole group of Dungeons and Dragons figurines with their cards. And there was probably at least 40 of them. So I comped those. 3 of the big ones comped for $9 a piece. So I figure if I can lot them up, I can get probably 80, $90 out of them. So I got all of those figurines and the cards for $20.
You read my mind. I was $20.
Yeah. So that was a chance that I was glad I took, because I was like, Star Wars.
Is that the new video you're coming out with? We said you $800
well,
profit?
I just dropped it today. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Oh,
it was pretty, that is everything in that video is from 1 yard.
Some of your good luck rubs off of me. That's
I was stoked.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the meat and the potatoes. We talked about your reselling business, and a lot of it gets into how do we find free goods?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, guys, I'm going to give you about 4 or 5 tips on how to get free stuff. And then I did a video on a full video on 9 or 10 different ways on how to get free stuff. Because a lot of people, if you're just starting out, you don't have a lot of money to invest in goods. And as you all know, a lot of thrift stores, their prices are going up. And so we have to find a cheaper way to source things. And so for the first thing, number 1, I talked about this when I first started, walk around your house. Everybody here has something in their house they haven't used in years. They haven't worn in years. It's worth something. It's already paid for, I hope. But source in your home. When I started selling, and I started seeing what things were selling for, I started walking around my house and scanning everything. What can I live without? I haven't used that in forever. Do I really need it? Can I sell it? Is it worth selling? So walk around your house, because we all have, if you're like me, I'm a pack rat. I have stuff that I haven't seen in years. I'm like, why do I need
this? Resellers are hoarders.
Yeah, exactly. They're hoarders before they're resellers, and then they just get worse.
That's good. That's a good way to do it. Spring cleaning. Put that stuff up on eBay or Recor or whatever.
Exactly. Okay, so my number two place is Facebook Marketplace. In my video that I'm going to drop, I'll probably drop it tomorrow. What I do, and I'll kind of show you what I do, is go to Facebook Marketplace, and I look at so if you bring up the Facebook Marketplace app, it's got a section where it says newly listed. See that?
Yes.
So newly listed, and then I hit the see all button, and it will bring up your newly listed, but I change where it says shipping and local to just local. And then you can put your town. So say you're traveling out of town, like when I go to work out of town, I will change that to whatever town I'm in. And that way, if there's something I can pick up while I'm out of town, I'm going to do it. And so then it brings up all your local stuff. And then you can scroll through and you'll see where it's supposed to have a price. Okay, right here. Not that I want this, but it's free walker, crutches, bedside commode. I'm probably not going to get that, but if you've watched any of my videos, you have seen me pick up free stuff. And that's what I do. I go to Facebook Marketplace. I'll send the person a message. Sometimes I'll lay in bed at night and send like multiple messages to different people. Hey, is this still available? Hey, is this still available? The next morning I'll wake up. Yes, it's still available. No, it's gone. So then I can kind of plan out, okay, if I got 2 or 3 people that have something available that I want to go pick up, then I can go pick it up that next day. So Facebook Marketplace has been very good to me. I have picked up a ton of stuff on Facebook Marketplace for free stuff.
Before you get the next category,
okay,
regards to Facebook Marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
I hear stories of resellers, or other people. They say, "Is it available? Is it available? Is it available? Is it available?"
Yeah.
Is that an issue with some people? I guess people that are selling it, it's a little different than people giving away free stuff. I mean, is that what everybody pretty much says? Is it available? Is there something you can do differently, or is it available works?
You can say, is this available? I can pick it up tomorrow. So say if you're, you're doing it at night,
Right.
I can pick it up tomorrow if it's available. Or yeah, I mean,
I'm just thinking to differentiate yourself amongst the dozens of people that are going to say, is it still available?
Most of the time I just say, is it available?
Okay.
But I do tell people when I go to pick up free stuff, or if I go, like say I go on Facebook Marketplace and I go to a yard sale that's been on Facebook Marketplace, I'll ask them, what are you going to do with your stuff when you're done with your yard sale? Are you going to just donate it? What are you going to do with it? If they say, well, we're just going to probably donate it. You want me to come and get it for you? I'm a reseller. I'll come and take it off your hands. Sometimes they'll say, okay. So
Do you make them an offer on the whole thing, or you're just looking for free goods?
Sometimes people won't want anything. They'll just be like, yeah, just take it. I was just going to take it to the Goodwill anyway. So yeah. So.
Patrick says, I would start with my usual opener. Yes, hello. Guys, and I bring this up, and again, I try to share my life experiences with you guys, and regarding my life and having to do with reselling. Make business cards.
Yeah.
Vista print.
Yeah.
Vista print.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to put your real phone number. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have given people my business card and told them, say, if you find, like I know people will say, I look for video games. Oh, well, we don't have them out yet. Well, here's my card. Or, what are you going to do with your stuff? I'm a reseller. I gave them my card. Yeah, I've done that before too. So definitely.
Yeah. I mean, again, you don't have to use your real phone number. You can use a Google Voice phone number, and it'll relay it to your cell phone number. You don't have to give it your number, and you can put on there, I'm looking for, or, whatever. I'm looking for video games. I'm looking for toys, vintage toys, or you can even write on the back of it. But I mean, for 8, 10 cents, 12 cents of a business card, it's well worth your money.
Definitely.
Worth your money.
Yeah. So the next app that I use, it actually incorporates. So a lot of people use the Nextdoor app for free stuff.
Right.
So this incorporates the Nextdoor app, Facebook Marketplace, and I think it might also incorporate Craigslist. I can't remember, but it is called this Free Stuff Alerts app.
I have that written down. If you didn't discuss, I was going to bring it up. It's called Freebie Alerts app.
Free Stuff Alerts. So download that. You put in your area. It will alert you anytime something is posted for free. You can go on that app, and you can actually talk to the people through that app, so you don't have to go to the other apps to do that. And you can see if it's still available, all that. Now, I had to turn mine off because it was literally blowing up my phone with free stuff.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing too. My friend, and hopefully he's watching. I haven't seen you for a long time, Bill. Noman the Frog. You better be watching my channel. He turned me on to this. I'm just going to put it up real fast. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can see that relatively well. I mean, and the thing that gets me is like this one thing is free wicker armoire. My question is, all these people putting up free goods. Is somebody giving away $100 some wicker armoire for free? I mean, they could be.
Yeah.
But are there people that actually put things up for sale and they say they're for free? I mean, they do that on Facebook Marketplace all the time.
They do. They'll put free in the price, and then they'll have the price. And then when you
inquire about it,
which is frustrating. But I mean, all I have to do is go down through and look, and it'll say make an offer, or it'll give you prices on multiple things, that kind of stuff. I had a lady the other day. She had a bunch of free stuff. It was like all kinds of stuff. And I said, is this still available? She said, no, that lot's not. But she said, I have a whole garage and a whole car full of stuff. She's like, you can come tomorrow morning and look. And I was like, holy cow. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I was like, And I'm like, well, is it the same kind of stuff? And she's like, well, I don't know, kind of. So I may contact her and say, hey, do you still have stuff? I'm like, she's just cleaning out stuff. So, but there was printer toner. There was all kinds of good stuff. Like they still in packages.
People buy that. I have a friend of mine. He's told me he has enough printer toner to last him 15 years.
Yep.
You know, you might pay, $5 or $4 for a printer toner. So it still works.
Yeah. It's crazy. But
Again,
some of that
free.
printer toner will go for very quick.
You and I both say if it's free, it's from me.
Yeah, that's my motto. If it's free, it's for me. So, yeah.
Oh, that was your third or fourth one. I think you had one or two more, right?
I don't know. I have all kinds. Tell your friends. Tell your friends what you do. I had posted on my Facebook, my regular Facebook, that I had opened a vendor booth. I had tons of people ask me, hey, I thought about doing that too. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just getting started. I had a girl reach out to me. I'd met her one time, but we were Facebook friends. And she's like, you probably don't remember me. And I said, actually, I do remember you. And she said, I've been cleaning out my house because of COVID and I have all this stuff. She said, would you want it? Because she has handicap disabled children. And she didn't want to deal with it. She just wanted somebody to come and get it. And so because they just weren't leaving their house, and which was fine. She said, I've got 2 big garbage bags out on the front porch. If you want them, they're yours. And I'm like, okay. She's like, and I'm like, well, what kind of stuff is it? And she said, oh, it's good stuff. And sure enough, yeah, it was probably the first 2 bags were probably about $300 worth of stuff. Old vintage Tupperware, all kinds of kitchen small appliances, all kinds of stuff. And then she called me again, or she messaged me again. Hey, I got another bag for you. Cool. And then she told her friends, because she's in a mother's group. And she told her friends, hey, I got this friend. She'll come and get your stuff. If you want to get rid of it, if it's good stuff, she'll come and get it. So she brought it over to her house. I went to her house and got it. So that's 4 big trash bags full of free stuff I've gotten through her. And so, yeah, tell your friends what you're doing. I've had other friends contact me if they're getting rid of stuff. Hey, are you interested in this? I'm like, well, do you want money for it? Or no, I'm just going to give it away. I'm just going to give it to you. I'm like, okay. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I mention almost every single show, guys, it doesn't hurt you to be nice. It doesn't hurt you to reach out to people. And again, hopefully things are going to start opening up a little bit more, and we're fingers crossed. Back in the day before all this stuff hit, one of my shows I watch, it calls the Voldemort hit. I used to go up to not everybody, but I'd be waiting in line at the supermarket, and they have long lines to get cheap prices, but you're waiting over in line. And I was striking conversation out with somebody in front of me, and maybe it'd be somebody elderly, maybe they never see anybody during the day, they're homebound. You say hello, you make their day. So when you're out and about, to say hello to people, and we talked about Deena did her elevator speech, and you could just say, hey, by the way, I'm a reseller. Do you ever have any stuff you're trying to get rid of? Yada yada yada. And again, you have your business card handy from Vistaprint with your Google Voice number. It's not your real number. It's a Google Voice number. You never know. That 10 cents, right. That 2 minutes of conversation might lead to hundreds of dollars in profit.
Exactly. Yep. Definitely.
Okay, we have another one coming up.
Sure, I can add another one here.
Okay.
Let me see here.
We'll do one more. And again, when are you going to release this video?
I'll release this tomorrow. Yeah, I'll release it tomorrow.
Patrick again wiggles eyebrows. Well, yes, hello.
Well, yes, hello. What site are you using? I'm not sure what he means by that.
What's your question? What's your clarify that, Mike? Wait, so were you talking about Facebook Marketplace? This particular person you were talking to, right? You met her and joined your normal.
Yeah, I had met her. And
then you became Facebook.
I had met her a couple years ago at a vendor event.
The vendor event. Okay.
I sell jewelry, and she was selling 31 bags, and she had come up and we had just had a great conversation. And I remembered her because
she had a booth at the vendor.
She had a booth, and she had told me that she had a disabled child. She actually has 3 special needs children that they adopted. So I knew she was a special soul to begin with.
Okay.
That's a big responsibility.
Gotcha.
And so we just hit it off, and when she said, you probably don't remember me, and I said, oh, I remember you, that meant something
Sure.
to her because I
Sure it
remembered
did.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
People
so
like to be considered special. I mean, it's sometimes,
mhm,
like I said, making conversations with people online at the supermarket, especially if
yeah,
they're elderly. Maybe
yeah,
they never see anybody, you
yeah.
just say nice, how
Well,
you doing?
and the
Isn't it
thing
terrible how they make you wait in these lines at the
yeah.
supermarket? And just, you're standing there anyway, waiting. It doesn't kill you to be nice to somebody.
Yeah. So
And you
so
never know, it
after
might turn into an opportunity for you.
yeah, and so after the first time she gave me those first two bags, I really wanted to do something for their family because
Sure.
she didn't have to do that for me.
Maybe buy them
And
a gift card or like an Amazon
so
gift
I
card or
got them a
something.
gift card for DoorDash because
There you
they
go.
were pretty much
Perfect.
homebound
Right.
and
So
they
they get the
couldn't
food
go out
delivered to
to
their house.
eat. Yeah,
Perfect.
they couldn't go out to eat. So I got them
Yeah.
a gift
That was
card
a
for
nice treat
DoorDash.
for them. Yeah.
And so the next time I went and picked up the next bag, I dropped that off and she's like, oh my God, you didn't have to do that. I said, I know, but you didn't have to do what you did either. And I said, I wanted to do this for you. And so, it's just being nice to people and appreciating them for what they're doing.
Right.
And that's probably why she told her friends, I don't know. So yeah, but okay, last one I'm going to tell you. Now I've
Okay.
got more on my video that's going to come out tomorrow, so make sure you're subscribed to me.
One
So
again, I was just going to ask you. Why don't you just send me that link, and when
I
the
will.
video uploads tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
I'll put the link in the description below, so people
Okay.
are watching the video after the fact, they can click on the link and go watch your video.
Okay.
And then I want to get into your YouTube channel. Tell us about your YouTube channel.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the last one is if you have friends who clean houses, or you have a house cleaner that comes in and cleans your houses. I actually have a friend who cleans houses, and so she also does house clean outs. And so with her clients, they will say, hey, I got this stuff I'm getting rid of. Do you want it? Because they just want to get rid of it. It's usually people that get their house cleaned are usually a little bit wealthier. Let's just face it. And
well, I'm not wealthy. I need my house cleaned. Any volunteers?
So who can afford it? Like, yeah.
All right.
So anyway, so she messaged me and she's like, hey, one of my clients had a bunch of stuff for free. She was going to give me, but I told her I didn't need it. Would you be interested in it? I said, heck yeah, I would. And so I went and picked it up from her. She got it from the lady, and I went and picked it up from her and put it in my booth like the next weekend and sold it. So yeah. So make sure if you know housekeepers or house cleaners,
that's an old school reseller trick, and it works. I mean, you're not the first reseller I've heard say that,
yep.
guys. And again, like we talk about a lot of channels talk about storage auction buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you like selling clothes, and a lot of people hate selling clothes.
Yeah.
So maybe the storage auction buyer gets all this clothes.
Yeah.
And you go, look, Joe, I'll take it off your hand. Like, maybe they paid $50 for the unit.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'll give you $10 for all the clothes.
Yeah.
Found money, you'll go pick it up,
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a I don't know if you know Storage Stacker.
I know the name, but I don't
Sarcastic Storage Stacker Mark.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
right.
So he lives about 30.
Yeah, because he's going to have a show with right.
Well, he has 30. He lives about 30 minutes from me, and he's told me multiple times, if you ever want to come source in my stuff, he's like, I give resellers a discount. He's like, because I just want it out of here. And so there's tons of stuff that he doesn't want to donate it
or throw it out. And sometimes they might have like private service, or they got to take it to a dump, or they got to pay to have it dumped.
Yeah, they got to pay. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, once you get into your YouTube channel, and now you're this big YouTube star.
Oh, I don't know about big.
About the different shows you're doing and the content that you're doing.
Yeah, so I've just been on YouTube for about 4 months. Never thought I would do YouTube, and yeah, here I am. I have a show every Sunday night where I kind of do what Adam does. I love to feature smaller channels. God has put it on my heart to feature women because a lot of women don't feel safe, or they don't feel worthy, I guess, or they're shy and they don't want to go on a man's channel, or they're uncomfortable. And so I like to feature women. I've had men on my channel too. But I love to feature smaller YouTubers or smaller resellers that are just getting started, because that's where I was 4 months ago. I'm still not big. And who knows if I will get big? I don't know. But I love to help other people. And so I have a show every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we feature newer resellers or newer YouTubers. And we have a good time. And then I am the co-host for Bingo on Monday nights with Johnny, Cajun Roots Reseller. I have been co-hosting with him for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks now. So we have fun every Monday night at 5 p.m. Eastern on Johnny's channel. And tonight I'm having a bunch of us girls that were on my Sunday night show decided we needed to do a death to our death pile listing challenge. And so tonight at 9 p.m. on my channel, we're going to just start. We're going to go live and we're going to list and we're going to just chit chat and have fun. And we may do some games. I don't know. But we're just going to hang out and get some work done and support each other, because when we work together or we can list and stuff together, it's like we have coworkers. It feels like we're not alone. We can bounce things off of each other. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? What's a good keyword for this? We can bounce stuff off of each other. And so I love to work like that, collaborate with others and work with others. And sometimes some of us just hang out in a private StreamYard and just work or chit chat, just because it's nice to have people around when you're working. So, yep. So that's
what I say about my channel. And again, I told you, and I've told the chat, I'm ADD. So for me to be in a StreamYard and hang out with other resellers, I would just be busy talking and chatting, and I won't be getting much work done. I know myself.
It's nice to be able. Yeah. Well, it's nice to be able to talk. And if you're doing a listing live kind of thing, if it's just you up there, you're worried about the chat. If you've got multiple people, at least you can kind of take turns and go, okay, for the next half an hour, I'm going to work these two are going to work while this person watches the chat and da-da-da. And so, but we can still bounce it off each other. And that's why we do. So a lot of times we'll do it privately in a private StreamYard, because we don't have
even privately, I would with my ADD, I would get distracted. And I tell people,
sometimes
again,
we get a little off, but we get some stuff done every.
It would probably apply to your channel as well. I tell people my videos, because I'm doing 99% live streams. Again, eventually, guys, I got to do recorded video. That's the only way I'm going to grow this channel, and I'm in it for the long term. I've been doing this for 3.5 years now, and I want to grow the channel, but I haven't been doing recorded videos, or very few of them. I really got to get into that, because that helps to grow the channel. But what I tell people is, you can play my video in the background while you're doing your listing. It plays like a podcast, and you can just pop in. If something interests you, you can stop what you're doing and maybe watch the video. But if you're lonely, and reselling can be a lonely job. I mean, you're working at home, you play my voice in the background. At least you have a familiar voice, and you might learn something. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I tell people.
Although
again, we talked earlier about the networking and.
I still find myself, though, especially if it's a sourcing video, I want to see it. I want to be watching it. So I can't work and watch a sourcing video, because I'm like,
that's why I don't watch sourcing videos, so I would get any work done. I'll listen a lot of times late at night. I'll just listen to reselling videos. Yeah. I'll be laying in bed, and I'll just listen to them and say, oh, maybe I can pick something up, if I listen to the video.
Yeah. No, Wendy, I started February 2nd. That was the day I came into Johnny's show. And I had recorded my first video, but I hated it. I didn't want to put it out. And they're like, you need to just put it out. Just let us know when you put it out, and we'll subscribe. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm hitting download right now. And so I put out my first video that day, and I've gotten better, since then, thank God. But yeah, so.
Okay. I think it takes practice.
It does. And, when you first like, I don't know how some people are. When you first hear yourself and see yourself, you're like, why did I do that? Why do I say that? Or why do I say all the time or whatever?
For a while there, and again, if I didn't know people in the beginning when I started doing this, I used to say and I must have said it 50 times a video. I was like, oh my God, why do you say and all the time?
Yeah, exactly. So,
okay. Anyway, guys, couple things real quick. I want to remind you to hit the thumbs up, before you leave. I want to thank Deena for her time. I say on this channel all the time, time is your most valuable asset. So I want to thank Deena for giving of her time to educate you and myself. I want to thank the people in the chat for being here and also people watching the replay. And I just want to bring up, guys, if you're finding any value of this, consider, I have Buy Me a Coffee, PayPal, Cash App, etc. If you're finding some value, maybe consider helping me out a little bit, because they're like reselling. There's time involved, there's expenses involved. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you all being here. And again, we shall be live next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. See you then. Thanks all for being here.
Bye.